I want to ask a very pertinent question today. Are the Chiefs not good anymore? Have they fallen off the rails? We'll talk about this today because the Chiefs have started with their worst start after a 10-game stretch in the Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid era. Their record of 5-5 is the worst record they've had after 10 games ever since Mahomes became the starter. In 2018, they started 9-1. 2019, they started 6-4. 2020, they started 9-1. 2021, they started 6-4. 2022, they started 8-2. 2023, they started 7-3. 2024, they started 9-1, and then here we are in 2025. The sky is falling. The Chiefs are 5-5. They're currently not in the playoffs. If the playoffs started today, they would be one of the first teams out of the playoffs. So the question still holds. Are the Chiefs not good anymore? Have they taken a step back? Will this team even make the playoffs? Does this team even have a shot at winning the AFC West? And the first thing I want to look at is the overall team performance compared to the rest of the NFL. The Chiefs are in the top 10 in offense and defense. They have the number 9 points per game offense and the number 4 points per game defense. These are signs of a good team. However, the Chiefs are 1-5 versus teams with a winning record. So one of the biggest predictors of playoff success is how well a team has done against other playoff teams. Currently, the Chiefs have had 6 games versus teams that are likely to make the playoffs, and they are 1-5 versus those teams. Going back through the years, looking at data, teams that have records like this against winning teams, once they get to the playoffs, they're lucky if they win one playoff game. So as is the way the Chiefs have been playing so far this season, they definitely, in my opinion, would not make the AFC Championship game like they've done every year with Patrick Mahomes. Something has to change with this team if they want to make a push in the playoffs. There is 7 games left for the Chiefs. That's plenty of time to make changes and to start playing better heading down into the stretch, into the postseason. There's a conversation on Twitter that I was following between a fan and Mitchell Schwartz. And Mitchell Schwartz was pushing back against this fan. What this fan had said was that Spagnuolo has been bad this year, especially in clutch moments when the Chiefs have to have it. Where is his unpredictability? Spagnuolo has always had this sort of mojo of being unpredictable and this mystique about him where he can somehow make these play calls that other teams are not expecting. And that hasn't been the case in 2025. And this fan is wondering, where is this unpredictability? What is wrong with the Chiefs' defensive coordinator? Why is he not dialing stuff up that other teams can't see coming? Mitchell Schwartz responded to this with a very interesting comment. That comment was that other teams are prepared, other teams have studied the Chiefs, and they have an idea of what the Chiefs are doing too. It's not just Spagnuolo dialing stuff up and then it working. Teams have been trying to figure this out for a long time. Teams have been trying to sort out when Spagnuolo is going to blitz. Quarterbacks have been trying to set up their protection versus Spagnuolo for years. And other teams have done a good job of this at times. So it's foolish to believe that Spagnuolo all of a sudden lost his unpredictability, lost his ability to dial up a blitz that another team doesn't see coming. I don't believe that's the case. I think Spagnuolo is still doing a good job. The fact of the matter is that other teams, even throughout the history of the NFL when Spagnuolo has been the defensive coordinator, they have an opportunity to stop it. They have an opportunity to decipher what's coming. They have an opportunity to set protection, make the right play call, and the Broncos did that last week, and other teams have done that versus the Chiefs this year. Which makes me think that if Spagnuolo has had unpredictability throughout his career, other teams have been trying to combat that unpredictability, then there have been a number of times where the Chiefs' defense was quote-unquote figured out on one particular play, and the Chiefs still prevailed. The Chiefs' defense still got the job done. So that makes me wonder if the talent on the defensive side of the ball has gotten worse. Because if they were getting figured out in the past, they were still able to stop the other team in the crucial moments of the game, and now they're also getting figured out occasionally, but they're not stopping the other team, then that tells me either the other teams they're playing have gotten better, or the Chiefs' defense, personnel-wise, has gotten worse. And in my opinion, there is one very obvious weakness in this Chiefs' defense, in addition to a defensive line. And one of the problems for why this team has struggled as much as they have in key moments, and it is that the safety play for the Chiefs has not been what it needs to be. There have been several instances where the Chiefs have given up a 3rd and long, and many times the opposing team's quarterback is attacking the Chiefs' safeties. So, it's not so much that Spags has lost his unpredictability. He's still unpredictable. He's still a good defensive coordinator. It's just that when push comes to shove and both teams have it sorted out, the talent on the back end for the Chiefs in their secondary is not as good as it was in years past. And so this is something the Chiefs are going to have to address either schematically or trying to move some bodies around. We saw Christian Roland Wallace have an awesome game last week versus the Broncos. Maybe after the bye, the Chiefs decided they want to use him a little more in nickel, maybe a little more in a safety role, and see how he can do as opposed to Shamari Connor. In my opinion, this is a step in the right direction. I think last week's game versus the Broncos, it was a loss. It sucked, yes, but there were some things I saw on the defensive side of the ball that I liked, and some changes that they were making to try to improve the safety play. But if you look at the Chiefs' losses this year, they are really on the razor's edge. If any two of these things change or are different, the Chiefs may have a 7-3 record, and we're talking about a completely different storyline, a completely different narrative for the Chiefs in 2025. This is a team that is so close to rattling off several wins if they can just get a handful of things right. In week 1, when they lost to the Chargers, they gave up a 14, 15-yard run to Justin Herbert at the end of the game because Chris Jones had a mental lapse, got greedy, tried to go inside for the sack, and gave up contain. In week 2 versus the Eagles, the decision-making by the Chiefs coaching staff was far too aggressive for the defensive nature of that game. If the Chiefs played more conservative in that game, made decisions like they were in a defensive football game, and kicked the field goals, they would have won that game. Week 5 versus Jacksonville, Harrison Butker shanks a kick in a crucial moment of the game, gives the Jaguars short field position. They march down the field, score touchdown with, I think, 20 seconds left in the game, and they win that game. Week 9 versus Buffalo, Mahomes had a terrible game. The offense also refused to run the football, which we've seen that trend throughout the year. The Chiefs' offense has been efficient running the ball, but this team, through their own decision-making process, has chosen to become one-dimensional. Why they've made that choice, I don't know. Running the football is the most guaranteed and easiest way to have success in the NFL if you're efficient at it. I know the Chiefs want to hit that big play. I know they want to use Mahomes. It makes sense to use Mahomes. But last week versus the Broncos, they had something like 48 passes and 13 runs. That is not a balanced offense. If you give an NFL defense the chance to know what you're going to do on every single play and not even pay attention to the rushing attack, you're going to have a hard time throwing the ball. You're making it too hard for Mahomes. There has to be something that gives with this offense for it to become more balanced. Week 11 versus Denver, this is where the safeties come into play. They gave up a 3rd and 15 in a crucial moment of the game to Bo Nix, one of the worst throwing quarterbacks in the NFL. He has not had a good year. But for Bo Nix's credit, whenever the moment has called his number, he has came up to the occasion. And whenever the Chiefs were close in the fourth quarter, and it was a slugfest, I had a very bad feeling the Broncos were going to win this game because I've watched a lot of their games this year, and that's just what they do. They keep it close, they do a slugfest, and then at the end of the game, Bo Nix and Sean Payton figure something crazy out to pull away with the win. That's what they've done all year long. If 2 or 3 of these things change in this list of 5 items I just gave you for each of the Chiefs' losses, the game could have completely flipped. Right now, the Chiefs have been doing things to lose the football game. They've made boneheaded decisions. They've made mistakes. And I hate to tell you, but these boneheaded decisions, these mistakes, these are the things that bad teams do. So make no mistake about it. The Chiefs are 5-5 for a very good reason. They've been accident prone. They've been failures. They've made mistakes. They've made bad decisions. All of these things, though, that have happened in these games to lose for the Chiefs. 1, they were in the game. And 2, these are mental mistakes. These are things that can be changed. So while the team may have some personnel issues at the safety position and along the defensive line, what's causing them to lose the games is all up here. It's not a lack of talent. Yes, the talent has gotten a little worse on the defensive side of the ball, but it's gotten better on the offensive side of the ball. This gives me hope that the Chiefs can finish out the year and fix these mental lapses. If they do not fix these mental lapses, then, and they finish out the year playing like this, they'll barely make it into the playoffs, and then they'll lose in the first or second round. So the Chiefs have 7 games to sort out these mental mistakes. Fortunately, they're not losing because the other team is just simply much better than them talent-wise. They're losing because of the gray matter, the decisions they're making, the stupid mistakes. And do the Chiefs want to be a good team or a bad team? We'll see. We'll see how much dedication they take to fixing these mental issues. But I am hopeful that this team can turn it around and really come to a crescendo to finish out the season. That's what you want to see. So that's my take. I do not think the Chiefs are a bad team. I do not think the Chiefs are not good anymore. I still think this is a good football team that has made mistakes, that bad football teams make, and they've got to improve on them. The talent is there, but the decision-making needs to improve. It's got to improve. Now's your chance down in the comments to let me know what you think about the Chiefs this year. Do you think that there's no way they're making the playoffs? Do you think they're going to make a late season push? I believe this team is going to make a late season push. They're going to fix these mental issues, and they're going to go into the playoffs looking scary. But that's my take. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about the Chiefs right now. Tough loss versus Denver, but the games keep coming. There's no time to mourn. The Chiefs have to fix these issues and move on. Especially with a tough opponent of Indianapolis coming to town. That is not going to be an easy game. So we'll see what happens in that one, but let me know down in the comments what your prediction is for the Colts game, what you think about this Chiefs team. Do you think they're going to finish the year strong, or is the sky falling? But this is Gary signing out here at RGR Football. Thanks for sticking around through the whole video. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and then subscribe as well. We appreciate every single one of you. Have a good rest of your week. Take it easy.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.